Let's get you the latest, and this is in regard to the government prepping to give the Indus Water to North India ahead of the elections, the Lok Sabha elections. As the name of the project suggests, the move is to utilize India's waters and ensure that more and more Indian states benefit from the river's water. The government has lined up projects that focus to benefit the states of Rajasthan, Haryana, Punjab, Delhi, and really solve the irrigation and climate change related issues. Remember, India suspended the Indus Water Treaty after the Pahalgam terror attack, and as per sources, a detailed project report for the construction of the 14-kilometer tunnel, this is connecting the Bias and the Indus Rivers, has already started. In order to know more on this, we have my colleague Reet joining us. Reet, take us through the nitty-gritties, and this is in regard to that deadline that has been set up, because the centre is really fast-tracking this project by targeting the completion before 2029 elections.
Right, absolutely, Divya. You very rightly mentioned, of course, after the Pahalgam terror attack, India, like you mentioned, suspended the Indus Water Treaty. And on repeated occasions, we've heard the Indian Prime Minister talk about how blood and water cannot flow together. And of course, India maintains extremely firm on its stance that, the Indian government has in fact come up with projects to build canals and manage the water so as to ensure that excess water does not flow into Pakistan. I'm going to now take you through what exactly the project is about. And like you mentioned, that there is a 2029 deadline. That's absolutely right. There's a deadline. The project has to be completed by the Lok Sabha elections in 2029. It's been dubbed as the government's gift to the northern states. Now, the project, like I mentioned, is set to be completed just in time for the 2029 Lok Sabha polls. Now, apart from this, sources have also told NDTV that, top government officials are working on the project. Several meetings have been concluded, the last one being just as recent as last Friday, where we were told that several senior ministers were a part of the cabinet meeting and details of the project were discussed. There's also information that sources have told us that L&T is in fact working on presenting a DPR, which essentially is a detailed project report that walks everyone through what exactly the project is going to be about, what are the areas it's going to cover, and especially what sort of route the government has to take in order to fulfill all of these responsibilities. Apart from this, what's important is that, according to sources, the most challenging task is in fact this 14-kilometer tunnel that's here, right here. Now, this essentially links the Bias and Indus together. And why this is exactly is challenging is because, it is in basically an area that requires a detailed study of mountainous rocks. There's a problem over here because in case of weak rocks, the tunnel laid through will, of course, if there's a possibility that there's damage to it. So there's an entire process that is taking place as well as to ensure that, the tunnel is made well, and construction will begin post the DPR report is received. The tunnel is proposed to use tunnel boring machines is what we're being told. The rock shield technology will be used in ensuring speed and, of course, safety, and it will connect to the Uj multi-purpose project, which is located in Kathua district. This is in fact an important detail because the completion of the entire tunnel will lead to the system, the Ravi Bias Satluj system, to be linked to the Indus basin, therefore enabling India to maximize its share of the waters. Now, sources estimate that the construction of this will take about 3 to 4 years, and what's also extremely important is that the cost of this is about 4,000 to 5,000 crore rupees. Apart from this, let's also try and understand, sources have also told NDTV that, like I mentioned, the project report or the DPR is being drafted. Apart from this, there's work on building a 113-kilometer canal, which is underway. Similarly, it's important to understand that, like the 14-kilometer canal, there's also a 113-kilometer canal which will deliver Indus water to different states in North India. Remember that several states of North India benefit from the Indus water, so this will just facilitate movement there. Let's also move on to other points, like, the move, like I mentioned, is the focus of this move is to ensure that India is able to utilize its waters to its fullest potential and that no excess water goes to Pakistan. Remember, like I mentioned, India has suspended the Indus Water Treaty, owing to which it wants to ensure that not even a single drop of water goes to Pakistan. So there's a move to ensure that there's full utility of waters, that project pan across several states. Like I mentioned, Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, Delhi are certain states that will directly benefit from the project, and excess water to Pakistan will be halted. The old multi-purpose project is also to be revived. There's a 13-canal system which is also to be strengthened, and the focus is to ensure that irrigation and climate change problems in these areas will be resolved now that the water will not be going to Pakistan and will be used by the states to further, sort of enhance their fields and also work in order to using the project for their own purposes.